Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, I want to go back and revisit a topic I talked about last week, as it's such a big story. Other people are starting to pick up on it and talk about it and actually try to quantify the impact. So I'm going to review that, talk about those numbers, talk about the other videos, touch on mine once again, and give my opinion. So let's jump right into the story about Coinbase and BlackRock. So let me share my screen. And go. So first off, there's my video from the other day. Whoops, let's do it this way. There we go. So now side by side, looking at myself. There's my video from August 4th, which is, talks about, this is also, I talked about Coinbase and BlackRock and Michael Saylor, how they're all interconnected. But I also wanted to talk about now, like there's been a couple other videos that I saw the same day. I saw one, BitBoy came out and talked about it and saw that he talked about how it was such a huge impact and a positive. I also wanted to talk, but since then, he's put out some clips on it. It's more about BlackRock, but also Invest Answers, which is, I can never get it. I think it's Dave, but I'm not certain of his name. I apologize. I should know what his name is by now, but he's really good at what he does. He put out a lot of content. He kind of like makes videos similar to mine, where I just hit you with a bunch of stuff as quickly as possible because I know how valuable your time is. I saw a poll recently on Instagram that most people want videos under 10 minutes. That's my goal is too. I shoot for the 8 to 10 minutes, get you the information, get you going, because I know how much people want to get moving and how short people's attention span is. That's why TikTok is so popular. So, and Instagram too. So let's just jump right into it. And I'm going to go through piece by piece of this video, but I'm going to try to do it in segments and piece it all together, give you some context. He talks about how this is going to wind up with Bitcoin being an astronomical number, and I'll get to that number towards the end of the video. So let me hold that out there for some suspense. So first off, the tide turning. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. 3 different quotes. He got this off of Twitter, which was great, and I think this is a great video for you guys to go watch too. It's only 13 minutes long. But BlackRock CEO Larry Fink back in 2017 first called it an index of money laundering. This is what these guys do. They talk, they downplay it, they badmouth it, they trash the crypto until they start buying it themselves. And then they start coming around saying, hey, not so bad. So here it is 4 years later after that quote. BlackRock is bullish on blockchain, but not Bitcoin. So he's starting to turn the page. Like now he likes blockchain, but not the app of Bitcoin, which is the killer app for blockchain. 2022, now they partnered with Coinbase. Direct exposure for his clients. So once they have the tools in place, then they can go positive. A little shady, but we'll move on from there. Talking about who's now involved in all of BlackRock and crypto and everything, and how many big players are in the space now. Just to give some size, some perspective here. Dan Tapiero from Twitter. The partnership is such a big impact because BlackRock has such quantities of money. They have $10 trillion of assets. So if they have 5% of their assets just go into that, that's 500 billion. That's greater than the entire market cap of Bitcoin today. So that it's a catalyst for a path to 250K Bitcoin post halving, which happens in 2 years. So again, there's another vote towards getting a $250,000 Bitcoin. Who knows what $250,000 buys you in 2 years, but it kind of goes along with the Plan B curve and how things are. Like we're right in that middle between peak of 2021 and 2024, 25. So another quote that came out from Coin Bureau, guy from Coin Bureau, Aladdin. Aladdin is the AI that BlackRock uses to manage all these different things. Aladdin Wealth manages 4 times all the money on Earth. You probably know, if you've heard me a lot, I take umbrage at the word money. It's actually currency, not money. But Aladdin manages all the 4 times all the cash and savings that are on the planet. So, and the 10 trillion that BlackRock manages, that's 2 times more cash than that are in all bank accounts across the globe combined. So now we start going. Let's see, a little bit more perspective of the 10 trillion asset manager BlackRock offers Bitcoin institutions. 4.5 trillion asset manager Fidelity offers Bitcoin to pension savings accounts. It's happening. It's basically saying that the mass adoption is coming. All these different players getting involved. MicroStrategy, I talked about that on my original video back here. It's part of the title of this video. It's right there. And you can talk about like Michael Saylor. He's in here somewhere. That's me talking. Anyway, Michael Saylor is in here somewhere. I don't have the clip lined up, but I talked about how Michael Saylor gets involved here, how he's stepping away to become a focus for Bitcoin. So let's find the right tab. So, and again, BlackRock and Vanguard are also mentioned in this video from Invest Answers. Huge players and huge owners. BlackRock is the second largest holder of MicroStrategy. And obviously, Michael Saylor owns number one, but Vanguard and BlackRock are usually the top 5 holders of all these different assets. Other companies that are involved. ExxonMobil is now mining Bitcoin. Just keep talking about how many big players are in this space. Now let's start talking about the number. Oh, and Wells Fargo too. That was also mentioned. So Wells Fargo talks about how digital assets are a world of possibility. Again, all these big players, now that there's paths to get into crypto and into these digital assets, now they can start talking positively because they're able to buy in. So a couple of like the last couple of tabs to talk about this. So this is from Glassnode. There's only 2.3 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. That's basically it. So this is the supply. So this is where we start talking about the numbers. Let's see. Did I have the other one? Yeah. So let's go with this. Well, I'll go back to this one. So we're going to talk about 0.5%, 1%, and 5% of the assets under management for BlackRock. So let's start with 0.5%. If they spend $50 billion, $50 billion is half of their assets under 0.5%, 1/200th of their assets under management, because they have 10 trillion. According to Invest Answers, it's a multiplier of 21 towards the market cap. Not sure how he gets that number, but I'd have to look at his other videos. But he's basically saying with these numbers that the money to add up by putting that to buy up all of these 2.3 million Bitcoin that are out there, it would cost about $53 billion. So putting $50 billion would buy up all the available Bitcoin. This assumes 2 things. 1, no hodlers selling Bitcoin. This is only the amount that's on the exchanges. And 2, the price doesn't change while the supply crunch. Now, obviously, as there's less supply, more demand, price will go up. That's basic economics. But we've seen what's been going on last 6 months or so. It seems that there's price manipulation. They're holding the Bitcoin price down, probably with options and over-the-counter transactions. But in any event, it gives perspective. $50 billion infusion of capital into this market would buy up all the Bitcoin available on all the exchanges right now. Now, lastly, the price. All right, so start with BlackRock Impact. Putting $50 billion, that's 0.5% of what they have. 1% would be $100 billion, and 5% would be $500 billion. It would take longer and longer to do this. Probably about 6 months to buy the 0.5%, probably a year or 2 to put in $100 billion. Might take a few years to put $500 billion. But using Invest Answers numbers, his calculations is that the potential future price of Bitcoin could be $100,000 for just 0.5% being put in, rounding this up. Basically $175,000 if you put 1% in, and over $750,000 per Bitcoin if 5% of all the assets under management for BlackRock get put into Bitcoin. Now, and his argument clearly says that you're probably underweight in Bitcoin, which is probably a good answer, and I would tend to agree with him there. So let me drop out all those slides and just kind of wrap this up for you. So it's a big deal. Yes. Now, my video kind of like went towards the other direction of saying, is BlackRock a good thing to own everything with? The statement that we've heard from that organization that from 3 letters you probably know, I'm not going to mention here, but you've heard it before. It's they're all over the world. They talk about economics, and it's kind of a forum. So they have a slogan that says you will own nothing and you will like it. And BlackRock is going to be one of those facilitators. So if they gobble up all these assets for corporations, ExxonMobil, you've got what else mentioned? Wells Fargo was mentioned, Fidelity was mentioned. All these different guys, all these different entities. Where's the Bitcoin for you guys? That's why you need to, not financial advice, but if you want to be involved in crypto and you want to get into Bitcoin, there's never been a better time to hop in. Now, I'm not saying it can't go down. Obviously, it can. Price can do one of 3 things. It can go up, it can go sideways, or it can go down. One of 3 things. Have a plan to do that. And also, just dollar cost averaging. That's why many people advise that as well. Not financial advice, but it's all the writings on the wall now, folks. It's just saying that with all this corporate money coming in, all this big institutional money coming in, there's only so much Bitcoin. There's only 21 million ever made. Over 19.5 million have been minted and released to this point. Several million have probably been lost at this point because no one cared about it back when in the early days. And You've heard about those hard drives in the junkyards that they don't exist, or people lost them before we had seed words. Believe it or not, there was a time before seed words that happened with a 39th improvement proposal for Bitcoin. So there's lots to consider here, but everything looks long-term, big picture, long-term. We're talking in a time frame of between now and a halving to 2 halvings out. Okay, you're talking like 2 to 6 years, but $1 million Bitcoin is it's on the curve from Plan B, and it's on the roadmap, and it makes a lot of sense for supply and demand. As supply gets cut and more demand comes in, Bitcoin seems to be heading in the positive direction. May not do that in a week, may not do that in a month, but it's a lot easier to see the picture than the trend and on the time frame of 2 to 6 years versus 2 to 6 weeks or months. So, lots said today. I'm gonna take a breath. Let you guys put some notes in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. What do you think the price is going to be? What's the price of Bitcoin going to be 2 years from now? What's the high end? 3 years, 4 years, 6 years? At the next halving and the halving after that. So we're talking 2024 and 2028. What do you think the prices will be for Bitcoin? I'd love to read in the comments. Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. And share, of course. I'd love to get your feedback on this video or any other video that I put out there. So, lots said today. I'm going to close the drawer in the bureau, say file leader one more time. I will talk to you soon. Take care.